Alice was a young girl with bright blue eyes and long blonde hair. One sunny day, she was sitting under a tree with her sister. Alice was very curious and loved to explore. She saw a white rabbit with a pink nose and big eyes. The rabbit was wearing a blue coat and holding a pocket watch. He looked very worried and kept saying, "Oh dear, I am late." Alice decided to follow the rabbit. She ran after him and saw him jump into a big rabbit hole. Without thinking, Alice jumped in too. The rabbit hole was very deep, and Alice fell for a long time. She wondered if she would ever reach the bottom. Finally, she landed softly on a bed of leaves. Alice found herself in a strange place. It was full of strange, colorful plants and animals that could talk. She saw a bottle with a label that said, "Drink me." Alice took a sip and began to shrink. She became so small that she could fit through a little door. Behind the door was a beautiful garden. Alice walked through the garden and met many curious creatures. There was a grinning cat named Cheshire Cat, a Mad Hatter who loved tea parties, and a Queen of Hearts who always shouted, "Off with their heads." Alice had many adventures in this wonderland. She learned that being curious and brave could lead to exciting places. After a while, Alice found a way back home. She woke up under the tree and realized it was all a dream. But Alice never forgot her amazing journey. From then on, she always looked for new adventures and believed that even the impossible was possible.
Once upon a time, in a quiet village nestled between rolling hills and towering trees, there lived an adventurous girl named Lili. She was 8 years old, with twinkling blue eyes and hair as golden as the summer sun. Lili loved exploring the woods behind her house, where she often imagined magical creatures hiding beneath the trees. One evening, as the sky began to blush with the colors of sunset, Lili set out on her usual walk. The air smelled sweet with pine, and the soft breeze whispered secrets only she could hear. But tonight felt different. The woods seemed more alive, more magical. As she wandered deeper, Lili noticed a soft glow shimmering through the trees. Curiosity bubbled inside her, and she followed the light until she reached a small clearing. At the center of the clearing stood an ancient oak tree with leaves that glittered like gold. Suddenly, the air around her filled with laughter, tiny, bell-like giggles. Startled, Lili looked around, and to her amazement, she saw tiny, winged creatures flitting through the air. They were fairies. Their wings sparkled with every color of the rainbow, and their dresses shimmered like stars. "Welcome, Lili," said a voice, as a fairy with lavender wings flew close. "I'm Ivy, and we've been waiting for you." "Waiting for me?" Lili asked, her heart racing with excitement. "Why?" "The Enchanted Forest needs your help," Ivy explained. "There's a magic crystal deep within the woods that keeps our forest alive and sparkling. But something terrible has happened. The crystal's light is fading, and we can't fix it without a brave human's help." Lili's eyes widened. "What can I do?" Ivy smiled. "You're kind, brave, and you have a pure heart, just what we need. The only way to restore the crystal's magic is to collect 3 enchanted items: the feather of a phoenix, the dewdrop of a moonflower, and the scale of a silver dragon. Will you help us?" Without hesitation, Lili nodded. She wasn't just on a simple walk anymore, she was on a magical quest. Ivy led Lili through a secret path only fairies knew, and soon they reached a grove where a majestic phoenix perched on a branch. Its fiery feathers glowed in the twilight. "Speak kindly to the phoenix, and it will offer you its feather," Ivy whispered. Lili approached the phoenix and bowed politely. "Great Phoenix, will you lend me one of your feathers to save the forest?" phoenix looked into Lili's eyes, then gently plucked a shimmering feather and handed it to her. "May it light your way," it said in a deep, melodic voice. With the feathers safely tucked away, Lili and Ivy continued their journey. Next, they arrived at a glistening pool where moonflowers bloomed beneath the stars. Lili carefully cupped her hands and collected a single glowing dewdrop. It sparkled like liquid moonlight. Finally, they reached the silver dragon's lair. The dragon was enormous, but its eyes were kind. "I know why you've come," it rumbled, and from its silvery scales, it offered one that shone like a mirror. "Use it wisely." With all 3 items in hand, Lili and Ivy rushed back to the clearing where the crystal sat, its light now barely a flicker. Ivy sprinkled the phoenix feather, the moonflower dewdrop, and the dragon scale over the crystal, and suddenly, a brilliant light burst forth. The entire forest lit up with magic, flowers bloomed, trees sparkled, and the fairies danced joyfully in the air. "You did it, Lili!" Ivy cheered. "The enchanted forest is saved, thanks to you." Lili smiled, feeling warmth in her heart. As the fairies twirled and sang around her, she knew she'd never forget this magical adventure. As the night deepened, Ivy and the fairies escorted Lili back to the edge of the forest. "Thank you," Ivy said. "You're always welcome in the enchanted forest." With one last wave, Lili returned home, her heart full of magic and wonder. She knew that even though the adventure was over for now, the magic of the forest, and the fairies, would always be with her. And that night, as she drifted off to sleep, she dreamt of glittering wings, glowing crystals, and the sparkling fairies of the enchanted forest.
In the days of old, in the land of Israel, there arose a great warrior named Goliath, whose height and might were the stuff of legends. Clad in gleaming armor, with a spear that seemed to pierce the heavens and a shield that rendered the bravest hearts to quiver, he was a terror to behold. The Philistines, his people, stood emboldened by his presence, encamped on one side of the valley, daring their foes to confront them. Across the valley, the Israelite army cowered in fear. Their spirits were weighed down by doubt and despair, for no man among them dared to challenge the beast. Each day, for 40 days, Goliath strode forward, his booming voice echoing through the valley as he issued a dire proclamation. "Choose a man and send him down to me," he taunted. "If he is able to fight and kill me, we will become your subjects. But if I overcome him and kill him, you will become our subjects and serve us." The challenge hung heavy in the air, unanswered and oppressive. Among the Israelites, there was a shepherd boy named David. He was diminutive in stature and youthful in years, but his heart harbored a courage unfathomable. David was the youngest son of Jesse, and he had been sent to the camp by his father to bring provisions to his older brothers who served in the army. On that fateful day, as David arrived with his parcels, he heard the voice of Goliath, a voice that seemed to shake the very firmament. His brothers sought to send him away, fearful for his safety, but David was undeterred. His spirit burned with righteous indignation. "Who is this uncircumcised Philistine that he should defy the armies of the living God?" he declared. The words reached King Saul, who summoned David to hear his plea. Before the king, David spoke with a fervor uncharacteristic for one so young. "Let no one lose heart on account of this Philistine. Your servant will go and fight him," he said. King Saul, taken aback, offered his own armor to the boy, but David rejected it. The weight and size were cumbersome, for David trusted not in the trappings of war, but in the strength of his faith and the skill in his hands. With his staff in hand and 5 smooth stones chosen carefully from the brook, David approached the battlefield. Goliath's laughter rang out as the giant, beheld the unarmed youth. "Am I a dog, that you come at me with sticks?" he roared, cursing David by his gods. But David, steadfast and fearless, responded, "You come against me with sword and spear and javelin, but I come against you in the name of the Lord Almighty, the God of the armies of Israel, whom you have defied. This day the Lord will deliver you into my hands, and I'll strike you down and cut off your head." With a swift motion, David placed a stone in his sling and hurled it with precision. The stone struck Goliath on the forehead, and the giant fell to the ground with a thunderous crash. The Philistines stood in stunned silence as David ran forward, seized Goliath's sword, and beheaded the fallen warrior. The tide of battle turned, and the Israelites pursued the Philistines, routing them completely. David's victory became the stuff of legends, a testament to the power of faith and the triumph of the righteous over the mighty. It was a day that resonated through the annals of history, where the smallest among men felled the greatest, and God's favor was shown in the purest form.
Want to hear some crazy fun facts about elephants? Did you know they are the only mammals that can't lift all four legs off the ground while running? And here is the kicker: they grow 6 sets of teeth, with some weighing up to whopping 10 pounds each. Their sense of smell is simply astounding. They can detect water from 3 miles away. While they may appear all skin, elephants are actually covered in hair. Oh, and just like human babies with their thumbs, baby elephants suck on their trunks for comfort. Talk about adorable, those enchanting 5-inch eyelashes simply captivating. But wait, it gets better. Elephants can literally hear with their feet, picking up sound vibrations. They're linguistic wonders too, distinguishing between different human languages. Their memory is legendary. Some claim they never forget a thing. And yes, they don't drink water with their trunks. Elephants are herbivores and can consume up to 600 pounds of food in a single day, primarily consisting of grass, leaves, and fruits. September 22nd is Elephant Appreciation Day.
Apple, a sweet, crunchy fruit often red, green, or yellow. Banana, a long, yellow fruit with soft, sweet flesh inside. Carrot, an orange root vegetable, crunchy and often used in salads. Grapes, small, round fruits that grow in clusters, can be green or purple. Lettuce, a leafy green vegetable often used in salads and sandwiches. Orange, a round citrus fruit with a tough, bright orange skin. Peach, a soft, round fruit with fuzzy skin, usually pink or yellow. Pear, a bell-shaped fruit with soft, juicy flesh, typically green or brown. Tomato, a red or yellow fruit used in salads, sauces, and more. Zucchini, a green squash vegetable, often used in cooking.
Random facts: people mix left and right, but not up and down. Halloween is the day with the most missing kid reports. Only 1% of people get it right. Trying to type with eyes closed. 25 years of life asleep. The average person spends a quarter of a century sleeping. When you talk, you don't hear your real voice. That's why you find it weird when you hear a recording of your voice. You are probably in the background of hundreds of people's photos. A tree with darker leaves than the trees around it can indicate a body beneath. 80% of people don't wash their hands after using the bathroom unless someone is watching. If you comment slap, you will unlock a secret emoji. You only know you fall asleep when you wake up. The average person walks the equivalent of 3 times around the world in a lifetime. You can now check to see if you're being tracked on TikTok. Click share and then on more. If an unknown app pops up, delete it immediately. It's been proven following me makes you smarter every day.